I'm Tony, and this is Earth Files Earth History. A few months back, I was working on a project, and this image kept popping up on different websites under the subject of volcanoes. As you can see right here, it says an aerial view of Mauna Loa volcano in Hawaii. It also states that this image was taken in 1985. So remember that year. That year is important, and I'll come back to that in a minute. I noticed about this image that it was blurry and kind of smoky looking, which indicated to me that this image had a lot of obfuscation applied to it, which doesn't make any sense since it's on the island of Hawaii and these volcano areas. Here's the different three main volcanoes in Hawaii here. And now you can see some of the obfuscation through here and here. But I wanted to know exactly where all the obfuscation was applied. So I worked the image, and now you can see where it's at. All through here, all around in this area, all through here, in this area. If you notice right here, this isn't really a volcano. This is a structure that has collapsed and fallen over. The structures begin to appear through here. They're deteriorated, but the super megalithic, these huge structures, the large ones are still standing. So we go back to the image, and this upper level that overlooks this area here, notice it has a geometric shape to it also. This geometric shape is seen all through our solar system from the previous civilization that colonized our solar system. The triangles and the hexagons and the different geometric shapes like that. So it appeared to me that it looked like the same civilization that colonized our solar system made these structures too. So now I'm going to go down on deck in the upper level. We're going to just take a quick look at it. See where they blotted out. The reason they blotted this stuff out so it would not draw attention to this image here. In the upper deck area, see the little dots? This is what left over, I guess, from these supports. I guess they're columns or whatever that help support this structure. And I would imagine this whole area was one structure at one time. If you look back here, there's a huge structure standing, I would say at least 1,500 to 2,500 feet tall. The problem is there's no elevated area like this in that area where these volcanoes are at. And then here's some more structures here. And of course, you can't see them real good, but there's, you can still definitely tell that they are structures and they're quite old. I would estimate these in excess of 1 million years, and you'll understand why I'm saying that in just a minute. And then here's a part of structure underneath this structure right here, whatever this structure is. And then when I brighten it, you can even see the little dots, which is the remaining part, I guess, of the supporting structures for the larger ones. And you can see, look under here. It looks like this was a base for it. See how it's tilted up? And I guess when parts of it deteriorated, it slid back and tilted up this way. Now, I said a while ago, this is a structure. You can see right here, it's kind of horseshoe shaped. And notice how it's fallen over. They classified this as, of course, they said this was in Hawaii, and this was a volcano. But you can see it isn't. So let's go ahead and look at this remaining structure here. Stop right here. You can see where they covered up this superstructure in this area. There's part of structures here. You can't tell what they are, but you can see whatever it is that's still standing all through this area. And then they obfuscated this area out also to blend this picture in together. And there's a broader view, and then you can see the other structures here. You can see where this one is fairly tall through here and dips down and goes around. Okay, now we're going to go to this area. So give me just a second to get there. There's one view of it. You can definitely tell a perfect 90-degree area. Here on the structure, how it was built, a lot of this was covered up through here. This has to be at least 3 miles long. That's how big these structures are, and probably a mile across. Then there's the black and white of it. Here's a piece of a structure still standing up, whatever this is. And then we go back down to this area. Okay, so the landscape doesn't match the information that I found out about this area. I looked at other aerial images. I looked at videos of the area, really clear videos, maps, roads, and this doesn't exist in Hawaii. So I went back and I went for a search. This looks just like Earth, doesn't it? So what planet looks like Earth the most? It's Venus. Somebody was giving us a heads up that this image was taken from the surface of Venus. Remember I told you about 1985? Look what it says. Vega 1 and Vega 2 encountered Venus in June of 1985, each deploying a lander and an instrumented helium balloon. It was the cameras on the balloon that took these pictures. They say the surface or the atmosphere is, the temperature is so hot that it can melt lead. The atmospheric pressure is so heavy it can crush you, that the clouds are made of sulfuric acid. You don't hear a lot about Venus. They also say that whenever a lander lands on the surface, it only works a couple hours because of the pressure. Destroys the lander after so long, after maybe 2 hours, I think they said, 2 or 3 hours. So now we know that's a lie, that Venus is almost exactly like Earth, that the hostile environment really is not hostile at all. In fact, Venus would be a place to go, not Mars. When we get there, they probably would not have to wear pressure suits to go out on the surface. Another thing too, I've gone through some of the earlier images. Of course, there's not a lot of them. It looks like Venus is so covered in these superstructures that no matter where they land, that they would be visible in these images. And I'll show you that on the next video on how the images that came from the early probes, how they covered up these structures. Also, there was a couple of probes sent to Venus, and when they got in the orbit around Venus, they quit working. They didn't quit working. They started taking pictures of the surface in the later probes. So now the truth has finally came out about this planet. This is totally fascinating. So like I said before, images, important images, especially in the research and the probes they send out, they'll take those images and put them under another subject just to hide them. So nobody will know where they're at or exactly what these images are when they're looking at them. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. This is Tony with Earth Files Earth History, signing off.